Most people think about confidence something that you have. What about getting others to be confident in you? So that's what this bonus episode is about. So this entire series, we've been breaking down confidence in yourself, building up confidence and trusting yourself. But this episode will flip it in lens and put it on the other end and getting others to be confident in you. And so rather than me going through the usual route that I usually go through, the solo episode of me talking and breaking down stuff, I decided to be interesting to get a couple other people to talk about why they're confident in me. So I got two college girls I've been training, two Division 1 athletes I've been training and working with, basically become my little sisters in the process. To talk about why they're confident in me, why they trust in me. So I'm gonna let you guys be the judge and decide if I'm reliving by the 5 C's that I preached about in his last episode. So if you saw the last episode, I broke down the 5 C's of building your confidence. And so in this episode, I'm going to give you guys the chance to be judged and say, hey, this guy's been lying to me. He's not really living by the 5 C's. This stuff he just made up. Or you can be like, man, this is really true. He really lives by the 5 C's that he talked about this episode. But I want you guys to decide. So if you haven't watched the last episode, go back and watch it. Then come back to this one and see if I'm being a fraud or not. Without further ado, first up is my little sis, Olivia Vandergriff. She's a Division 1 athlete at Lipscomb University. Okay. Working with her for a few years now. So without further ado, shout out to my little sis, Olivia. Olivia, live.
B.
Confidence. Okay. When you hear that word, either like what comes to mind when you hear that, or or you can do both because you know you smart like that. How would you define it? So give me like when you hear confidence, what comes to mind, or how would you define the word confidence in your words?
I mean, when I think of confidence, I think of like being sure of something, like not questioning it, just being sure of it. And I think when I'm confident in something, like I'm buying into that and I'm not gonna look back and wonder what if, you know?
Mm. And I'm really interested to hear this because we've had a history. We've been rocking with each other for a couple years now,
Yeah.
and there was a pocket where a situation came up, and you could have chosen to not be around to work with me. So, in spite of that situation, without getting too deep in details, what made you want to still be a part of me, or let me be a part of you and what you got going on?
I think just like seeing how much you kind of pour into the people around you, like you care about them so much. And I was like, dude, why would I, for lack of better words, cut somebody off that is like all you're trying to do is just pour into us? Like, I think that would be such a major loss on my part to um
Mm,
not keep rocking with you, and also like kind of just seeing like how much work you put in outside of like when you do work with us. So like you're researching things, you're looking things up, and you're doing all these things um outside of when you're just working with us, so that when you do come in and you work with like me and Mace, that like you're super prepared and you know exactly what you're talking about. And I think that gives me like a super um, high confidence in you and how you operate.
mm. So let's go before the situation. You know, when we first kind of met and got around with each other, what happened for you to what happened for you to believe in me to work with you? Because you know you could have been like, ah, he cool, but I ain't really rocking with him. Like, so what happened to make you that first initial trust and confidence to be a coach and trainer for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think at that time, like we were driving to Birmingham. I think that was like your home base or whatever. And I mean, dude, we were getting in there before the sun came up, and I was like, well, if this guy's in here with me, before the sun comes up, and we're lifting or we're hooping or whatever, like he's about it. Like I trust this guy. And I think
Mm,
just seeing you show up every day gave me a lot of trust in you, and obviously it just kept building over time,
mm. I kind of forgot about those sessions, man. That
dude.
was
What a time.
yeah, those were fun because, like you said, getting up at what 5, 6,
Dude, yeah,
it was,
early.
it was a lot, man. So I think that was I think that's important for us because that got me to be impressed with you, to make that drive all the way down, to show up, and on top of that, I don't think you ever late. Like you might have been like maybe 5 minutes here or there because of traffic or you just timing, but
Hmm.
for you to come all the way down here every time, show up, stay, put the work in, never complain. I gotta give you flowers on that, man. Because I kind of forgot about that period of life, but that was fun, man. That was a little. That was a
Crazy,
time right there,
man.
man. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
good though. I mean, like just getting like to spend, however many hours around you and just kind of see and learn kind of who you are outside of basketball was like, oh, like okay, like be cool, like he cool like that. So, how could I not rock with you?
Yeah. So is that kind of what made you want to start working with me on the training aspect? You saw how I was as a coach, and you saw how I was in that situation. So when it came to you working just with me, is that kind of what made you say like, "Oh, this is my guy. Like I got to rock with him."
Yeah, I mean, just seeing like we we kind of have the same mindset when it comes to work. Like, man, we're just gonna put our heads down and go. And then also, like we we got to talk a little bit the mental aspect of kind of the game and I was like, okay, like if he's willing to take the time and sit down and talk with me about this, like okay, like I'm really going to put my trust in him because he's really trying to pour into me. And I think having
Mm,
people that pour into you in your life is, such a big plus, and surrounding yourself with people who are willing to serve you, spiritually, in basketball, in life, and whatever. So,
mm. And so was that mental aspect the thing that kind of was like the buy-in for you? Because you got access to different trainers, and you work with different people.
yeah.
So like, was that the moment, or like that the thing that kind of made you feel like, oh, this will make something different from a lot of trainers that you've been around?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, like even I think at that point, like I was at school and I was a freshman, I was really struggling, and you, even just you taking the time to send me a text or you taking the time to call me and just kind of talk to me, like, hey, dude, like mentally, like you gotta do X, Y, and Z, and you gotta think about X, Y, and Z, and then we had like a session or whatever, and you were willing to like kind of just take the time to break down like the sniper analogy that we always go back to. And I was like, this guy, like, come on, this is my guy.
You always bring that up, man.
Cause that was such a like a golden nugget, dude. That was such a good moment. I was like, okay, he's like that.
It's kind of frustrating because I cannot remember exactly what I said. It was a bar, man. Like to this
It
day,
was.
however I said it, it just can't come back to me, man. And it was in the
Yeah.
moment. It was a freestyle.
And in the moment, like it was so like perfect. And then like now that we try to think, man, what exactly did you say? We're not sure, but we got the gist of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As long as you know it was important and it was impactful for you, that's all that matters. Because
For sure.
like I've been trying to think about it for so long, trying to bring it back, trying to make that post about it, and it never quite couldn't connect the same, man. So
Yeah.
it bothers me, but it's all you got it, so that's all that matters. But
Yeah.
you know, you shouldn't have brought that up because that's a little sore spot for me, man. Like, dang, man.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, um, but like, was that one of the things that kind of the ways I helped you build your own confidence in your game and in your life?
I think so, yeah. I mean, for me, like the way that I've gotten confidence, even starting from the beginning of high school to now is like just keep showing up and keep putting in work.
Hmm.
And like eventually, like you're gonna have to see the fruits of your labor. Like you gotta plant the seed and it's gonna grow, like the Lord's gonna allow it to grow. And I think that's the main place where all my confidence comes from is just the repetition of work that I know that I put in.
Hmm. Was there like a situation that came up that you kind of saw me overcome, you saw me handle, and it was like, okay, I believe in this guy even more because I believe that like you think we build confidence, and it's like I'm putting the work in the gym, I'm getting the reps in, but you see somebody struggle with something, or you see somebody like the team that comes back from down 3-1, the team that's down 20 points and they come back and overcome and win. You like, okay, that's a different type of like this confidence and this box over here of confidence. And that's the one I'm talking about now, like overcoming challenges. Do you feel like you seen me overcome something else like, okay, I rock with this guy because he's been able to handle this and overcome that?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it earlier. There was a time when we were like, I don't know if it would have been really easy to um, not be rocking with each other, and I kind of saw you go through that with a lot of like, and this is where a lot of my respect for you comes from because you went through it with a lot of grace and you never like uh bashed the people that were kind of on the other side of it, and I've never heard you say one bad word about him. And I
Mm-hmm.
think just kind of seeing you go through that with such grace and such like confidence in who you are as a guy, I think that was really special. And I'm like, if this guy can trust himself so much to go through such a situation like that, I think I'm gonna trust him too.
Mm-hmm.
And I have
I
like
appreciate that.
a lot of respect for you came out of that situation.
Yeah, man. I say the same for you because you could have done things similar, like you could have bashed people and said stuff and never that. For all this
Just
time,
not
you
who
you've
you
handled
are.
everything well, and I know it's not easy to do. Because we, like I said, same situation. So, um, that's just something that you know matters a lot because you can be a talented trainer, player, whatever, but that character, man, like that speaks 10 times more than the talent that you have, man. I'll take character over talent any day, man, because that's like easier to work with. So
Heck yeah.
I got to give
100.
you your flowers on that.
Of course.
Yeah. So if a teammate were to ask you, or some other girl would be like, "Man, why are you working with this guy, man? Like, why do you trust him so much?" It's kind of like all the things you said, kind of going to play about that.
Yeah, I mean, if one of my teammates is like, "All right, so why are you training with this Coach B guy?" Like the first thing I'm gonna say is because like he cares, like he really cares. He really wants to see uh, us be successful, not just on the court, blah blah blah, but in life, like the way that you pour into me and Mace, like sending us just like these random encouraging texts and stuff. Like, man, that goes such a long way, and I know she appreciates it as well. But that's the first thing I'm gonna touch on is kind of just what we talked about, your character and who you are. And the second thing I'm gonna say is like this dude knows, like you can walk me through any drill, and then you can explain to me exactly why we're doing that drill, and how I'm gonna see that in the game. And I think that's important because a lot of the times you get stuck out there with a trainer and you're just dribbling with your head down, looking at the ground, like, man, what am I? How am I about to use this in a game? But
Hmm.
you really take the time to kind of explain. And I've never really been one to even question, like, if you're saying, hey, dude, like, go to the corner and bank in threes, I'm just gonna say okay, because I trust you. But you're gonna sit there and explain to me like X, Y, and Z. So that's probably the two big points I'd hit on.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, man. Anything else you want to leave the people before we get out of here?
I mean, not that I can think of at the moment.
You gotta leave us with a bar. So, like all the wisdom in game, you gotta leave us with a bar. Um, okay, let's do it like this. So,
All right.
with your situation you've been dealing with in college, confidence has been up and down, situation has been up and down. What has kind of kept your confidence up or rebuilt your confidence in spite of everything you've been through? So, a similar girl's going through a situation like she just back and forth, up and down. What would
Yeah.
you say to her?
Yeah. I mean, really two things this season really uh, kept me, confident and just really kept me enjoying like every moment that we got. And basketball, basketball is such a gift. It's not a god. It's nothing more than a gift that the Lord has blessed me with, and all of us with, to just play the game. Like it's such a gift. And so I think remembering that first and foremost is like what a blessing it is to go out every single day and
Mm.
compete with my best friends. So really, um, building those relationships with my teammates and knowing like, okay, if I miss a shot, they're not going to be mad at me. Like we're still about to go to dinner after this. You
Yeah.
know, and my freshman year, like that wasn't the case. I was just always so like, oh my gosh, they're gonna hate me if I miss this shot or if I make this turnover, if XYZ happens. And so it was really big for me this year to build those relationships with my teammates and uh, just know like they trust me, and me and one of my teammates, Bella Vincent, like we shot together every single day. So
Mm.
anytime like she would take a shot in a game, like I'd be like, oh, like that's my shooting partner, like that's going down. And I know that she had the same confidence in me. And also we had like a sixth year this year, Jalen Holcomb, and I was really close with her and kind of just got to pick up on some leadership tips from her and just how to be a great teammate. And so I think building those really good relationships with people on your team it's just gonna give you more confidence to play with them. And I don't
Mm.
think that's talked about enough. Um, so
Mm.
that was really big, was just building those really close relationships with everybody. And it might sound crazy, but I think it really played a huge role.
Mm. I think somebody need to hear that because I think I haven't thought about that throughout this series of like putting the work in with your teammates
Yeah.
and getting them to kind of be that support system around you. I guess. Yeah.
And I think it's a lot different for girls than it is guys, because guys are like, I can like punch you in the face and see you the next day at practice and be like, "What's up, brother?" Uh, but girls are a lot different, and I think when you are close and you really trust each other off the court, then it helps so much on the court.
Mm. Yeah, man. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Not that I can think of right now. Are you gonna drop any bars to end this?
Nah, man. This is it's all about you, man. You know,
No. I'm glad I could give you your flowers today, dude. You deserve them.
I appreciate that. You know, you are trying to give me flowers, and I still struggle taking them, but
Well,
I
go
did better this episode, right?
Huh?
I did better this episode with taking the flowers.
There's always room for improvement. It really is.
Uh, progress is the only goal.
Progress is the only goal. Come on.
But no, I appreciate you, man. You've been a great little sister, so
Oh,
appreciate you.
appreciate it, big bro. We're
But
gonna
yeah,
have to get in the lab soon.
yeah, man, I've been waiting on it. It's my time. I told you how I feel about this. This summertime is my favorite time of year because of that. You can get in the lab, we can work. So I'm ready for it. Just let me know when you get to start.
All right, it's on. Let's get it.
All right, so let's get out of here, man. We talked enough. We're done. But that's it, man. Let me know. Was I a fraud in that one? But if you feel like I am, hold on. I still got another player to go to. I got my little sis Mason Marchbanks. She's a hoop up at Townsend. So without further ado, Mason. Mace.
Yo, yo, what's good, BeBall?
Nothing much, man. But I gotta know, man, because you're a pretty smart young lady. Um, when you hear the word confidence, what comes to mind for you, or like how would you define what confidence is?
It's like unshakable. It's like the solid foundation for the rest of the performance. Like
Hmm.
at least that's what it's been for me over the last few years. Because your performance is gonna like, yes, you want to perform consistently, but it wavers, it changes. Like, you might have a bad game, go like 3 for 10 from the field or something crazy. Like, but, and other people are going to have their opinions, but the work that you put in. Like, like, nah, that's not the standard. Like, that's not where we're trying to be. Other
Hmm.
people have their opinions, but I think that confidence that you have in yourself is like the foundation. It's unshakable. It's got to be unshakable.
Mm. So when it comes to working with me, being your trainer, how how have you developed being confident in me and working with you?
Well, one, I think of you like a brother. So, like, after our first podcast, bro, that was like 2 years ago. That was mad long. But
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. Your support in me was genuine. Like, I could
Mm.
tell you were like real deal. And I was like, oh, he trains too. Like, it was like, oh, he trains too. Okay, bet. And I'm always down to learn. And the thing that I like about you is like you ask for feedback. You're like, wait, no, like, how can I do this better? Like, oh,
Mm.
you're like a sponge, bro. You wanna soak up and learn and develop as much as you can. And like, I respect that because that means you actually care about what you're doing and who you're doing it for and who you're doing it with. Like, that means a lot. And
Mhm.
so that makes me feel confident. Like, oh, he's legit trying to get me better, and he actually cares while doing it. Not just
Mhm.
like I'm about to go do this little like no. But and it's just fun. Like I had the way you develop your workouts, it gives the players the freedom to create. That's all. Like, basketball is poetry, and each person may write differently, but you allow us to do that too, which I like.
Dang, that was a bar. Basketball is poetry, and I like to create. I'm clicking that one. That was a bar. I like that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So before I started working with you, though, it was kind of like a gamble, just being like, let's see. Or what was it that kind of made you feel like you could trust me? Because it's like I don't take it lightly. Like this is your game and your
Yeah,
career.
yeah.
So what made you want to take that gamble or take that risk on me?
I mean, our relationship that we had built before. Like, I knew you were genuine. Like I said, I knew you genuinely cared about me getting better, and I genuinely wanted to get better. So I was like, it's a
Mm.
perfect match. It was meant to be, bro. So yeah, no doubt. There was never a doubt.
Mm. So when we first started working together, and after the first session or two, whatever, was like, what was the moment that made you feel like, okay, I can trust this dude. I really rock with him. Like, yeah, he can care, but he can be a okay trainer, and I don't really rock with him like that. So what was that moment for you that I was like, okay, he's a good dude, he's cool, and I would like to keep working with him as my trainer?
I mean, really, like the first workout, you asked me what I wanted to work on, and I was like, I want to work on finishing at the rim, like finishing through contact. And you were like defense, defense. You were, bro. It was so much fun though, and I was like, wait, he's actually going after it. I think you were sweating more than me though. I'm not gonna lie. You
Hey, it was hard keeping up with you, man. I'm not a hooper like that. So you
yeah.
gotta tell everybody about it. They ain't like keep it on low. You ain't gotta tell the whole business. Golly,
But
man.
that, and then like that was the initial like, okay. And then after a couple more workouts, there was this one day, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what drill it was. And you like really like you were like, hold on, pause, like we're gonna talk about this. Like, I really want you to understand. And I was not grasping the concept. I don't remember what, but you're like, no, like do this, or like let's take it all the way back to like step zero
Mm,
and build that foundation and then move forward. But that was really cool because sometimes like trainers are just like, all right, now like don't worry about, we'll just do that next time, or like don't worry about it, like we'll do this instead. But yeah, there was never any like pressure with you. It was always like,
mm,
no, like I genuinely want you to understand. Like, yeah, we'll revisit it again, but for now, I want you to at least get like 10 good reps. Like, at least understand it. So that
yeah.
was cool.
So is that the thing that kind of separated me from other trainers in your mind?
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
100%.
Hey, man. So how did your game or how did your confidence change after working with me?
Just not having the confinements of like a drill. Like you'd give us, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We gotta make 10, but you were like, you can finish however you want. You can use whatever move to get there. And I was like, oh wait, you don't want me to hit a little cross tween, like So I think I would ask you so many questions like do you want me to do this or this? And you're like, bro, like it's up to you. So
Mm.
yeah, I think that was the main thing that made me like, oh, I like this. I like this. So yeah, I actually had fun with it.
Mm. Mm. So basically, like that freedom gave you the space to be like, okay, you don't feel constricted and confined, and
Yeah,
that built up your own confidence in yourself.
yeah,
Mm.
because it translates. Like in a game, you're not gonna be like some people have their go-to move, but ultimately it's all just reads. Like you're just reading, and so
Mm-hmm.
that was, I think, how you helped my game grow too. Was like I didn't know how you were about to play defense. I knew you were gonna be playing defense, but I didn't know what you was about to take away. So um, yeah, that that helped a lot.
Mm. So, in thinking through confidence, man, I believe a big part is when you can overcome a challenge, you can see yourself on the other end of it, and you look back and it's like, dang, I beat that. I beat that dragon back there. Like, that's crazy. I did that.
Yeah, yeah,
Was there a moment that you saw with me or like between us that was like, okay, I saw B overcome this and I respect him more because of that?
yeah. I mean, statement game. Everything you do, bro. Statement game, podcast. What do you mean? Everything you do is like overcoming. You're out here doing it, bro. And you're figuring it out. Like I personally could never, but I applaud you because like mad respect, because you're doing it, and you keep going. Like you're the nose to the grindstone. Like that person
Mm,
that just constantly is just boom consistent every day, showing up, showing up, showing up. Like I think of that, and I think of you, because
mm,
you're doing it, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you get results. When you get results, you're still gonna be the same.
mm.
Yeah,
Dang, I appreciate that.
yeah, bro.
Um, this is so weird. I ain't gonna lie, this is so weird for me, but I appreciate it. So if a teammate, some other player was like, hey Mace, why you working with him? Like, why do you trust this guy so much? Would it kind of be everything you said, like the freedom of how you express yourself and the ability to just move how you want to, but still learn and grow?
Yeah, but the way you show up too, it's like we're learning from each other.
Mm,
You're not like I'm your trainer. You're like, wait, like we're basically teammates. It's a give and take. So
that's funny because that's actually how I see it. Because
yeah,
like at this point, like you're in college, bro. Like you know a lot about the game,
hmm,
so it's just me kind of seeing little pockets that you might not see and kind of navigating, guiding you there. But you know your game. You
right,
understand the system you're playing in. So it's just like, hey, like you told me to get better with finishing off of contact. All right, cool. Let's figure out together what works best for you. And then once we see what figure out what works, it's like, all right, let's fine tune it, nose in this direction,
hmm,
and we're going that way. But if you're a kid, you don't know anything. No offense to
yeah,
kids out there,
yeah,
but you don't know anything.
yeah,
So it's like, all right, I'm gonna give you the same some level of freedom, but you don't know a lot. So like your freedom comes with a lot of guide rails. Like we playing bowling, got the little bumpers up. You
right,
can go down this lane, but we ain't going too far outside of that. But you're in college now, so it's like, all right, we working together on this. It's not me in control. I'm just GPS helping you navigate where you want to go. So that's how I
yeah,
see it. It's really just us working together get your game going. So um, it's kind of how
Yeah,
I
I
view it,
think,
man. Like I'm not in control. It's really you doing your thing.
yeah. I mean, you working with college players, high school, even like elite high school, like is it's what it's what they need, man. The people need you. They need you because you being like giving the players that freedom and like working with them and stuff, but also being able to like I did so many different drills and like it might not be your typical cone drill where you're just going and then finishing at the rim. Like it's just like tips and then finishing a different way or
Mhm.
whatever game, you know what I'm talking about. The game
Yeah.
where you tapped it and then went whatever. Or yeah, there was a lot of different things, but that's what made it fun too because it was like, dang, I look kind of goofy doing this right now, but I know it's helping me. Like it's bringing me out of my comfort zone a little bit. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Dang, man. Um, that's really it, man. You got anything else you want to tell the people about confidence in general? Um, about you, your confidence, anything else?
I don't have anything.
You gotta give us
That's all I got.
one more bar. I know Mace is just like a wealth of knowledge. You've learned so much, and you're such an intelligent young lady.
Okay, well, right now, what's been on my mind is like, you know, we talk about confidence or patience or, joy and things like that. Fruits of the spirit, however you want to view it. So I'm working on my patience right now. Like, I don't, but I had an injury back in
Mhm.
November, season ending, like, didn't play, didn't play all season, got the year back, but had surgery, had two surgeries, one in January, one in April. And now I'm like on the road to recovery, but I've been asking God, like, give me patience, give me patience, give me patience. He gave me a knee surgery, and he was like, you'll equip the rest. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I think with confidence, it's like God's gonna put you through things to test it, but He's like
Mhm.
trust Him. Like your confidence is in Him. At the end of the day, so that's your foundation. That's where the unshakable confidence comes from.
Mhm.
That's all I got.
I knew you had a bar in you. I was just
That's all I
gonna
got.
keep
You had to
pulling until
like
you got it out.
pull it out of me real quick. No, I got you.
But yeah, man. I really appreciate you, man. This was this was something. So
It was.
thank you, man. I appreciate you. Um, but that's it, man. Let's get out of here. We're done. Bye.
Hell yeah. Love you, bro.
Love you
BeBall
too,
signing
man.
out.
So how'd y'all feel, man? Y'all seen both my little sisters that I've been able to train and develop and work with and see why they're confident in me. But if you feel like, man, both of them are kind of iffy, I ain't really feeling that. What am I supposed to get from it? So I'm gonna still give you a couple gems to you to live by and work by. How you can still get other people to be confident in you. So first and foremost is to be consistent. And I want you to break it down in two different ways. So first off, be consistent in your actions, but then be consistent in your words, and make sure that your words match your actions and consistently match those. Okay, keep your word. You say you're gonna do something and do it. It's very big, very important. That's how you build trust long term. Okay. And the thing about that too is like not just keeping your word, but own up to your mistakes. So if you say you're gonna do something and you don't do it, own up to it, take it, embrace it, run with it, because people will respect you more, and you don't truly break their trust when you don't keep your word. You really break it when you don't own up to it and honestly try to make up for the mistakes. So if you say you're gonna do something and you honestly forget to do it, you broke a little bit of trust there. But when you're able to say, "Oh, my bad, I completely messed up. That's on me. I'll come back and correct it, and moving forward, I got you," and you make up for it, you're good now. 9 times out of 10, people will forgive you and you can move on from it. But if you just break your word and don't try to own up to it and you try to push the blame, that's hard to have confidence in you, hard to trust you. So, but trying to get to that second point, we need to make up. But we're human. You're gonna make mistakes, but do your best to keep up with your word. Okay, be consistent in your actions, be consistent in your words, and make sure those two match consistently. But next part of that is to accomplish something. And you see, both of them said like they trust me with their word because I showed them out there consistently. But then I did a little something. I ain't did nothing immaculate in my eyes, but being able to show up consistently, keep my word, and then build something and have something to show at the end of the day, being consistent with my training, showing up with them, being consistent in the podcast and showing up on that end, building a statement game and showing up on that, accomplish something in their eyes. So they built their trust in me to say and do that. And a very important piece, which is one of the C's, I think this is the third C of building your confidence is challenges, overcoming challenges. I want you to overcome something because you don't truly trust the celebrity or whoever who has this story as just being perfect. You don't trust Prince Charming because you a little too clean. You're a little too polished. So if you haven't had any scuffs, any challenges, any problems to overcome, you feel like you're not as human. You can't connect to you the same way. But overcoming these challenges builds confidence in you because you overcoming that thing builds some skills and build some competence in that area. And by seeing that you built this challenge, built this skill up in this challenge, builds my trust and confidence in you to be able to perform and do this thing. So you being able to overcome the situation means you have to learn skills to overcome the situation. And me seeing you overcome these things and build these skills along the way makes me feel more confident in you and builds trust in you. So if you're still struggling getting people to be confident in you, take that. Okay. And so I want to conclude this bonus episode with that, man. And I'll say this. I feel like this was a great season and a lot of gems drop. I appreciate every guest that came on. Let me interview them, taking the time out to do it. Uh, this was a fun season to do. And if it's fun season to record, if you miss anything, go back and watch it all because it was beautiful stuff, man. A lot of game giving, a lot of gems dropped on how you can develop your confidence in yourself. But I just helps you out with how to develop other people to be confident in you. And now I'm concluding this episode with this, or this season, this series with this. So I got one more episode coming out. Okay. I got the chairs being a table being flipped on me and I'm being interviewed. And that's all I'm gonna say for right now. I'm being interviewed on my podcast. So stay tuned for that one, man. It's gonna be a fun one, interesting one. I got a fellow podcaster. She become a little homie along the way too. She's gonna be interviewing me. So but that's it, man. Appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate you for watching. See you next episode.